Good morning, all. I'm your host, Martin Wong from the Breakfast Show Trading Idea with SMARTRobie. And how are you this morning in here? I hope you had a great breakfast and ready to move on to some great headlines and getting updated on our breakfast show. Now, let's get started, shall we? Now, definitely this morning, right, we are at the... All right, let me just get this. That's right. This morning, we are definitely at the Friday. That's right, Friday, and it's 26th of March. And we'll be looking a lot of the advanced level. That's right, and also using Premium Alert as our trade idea this morning here, and a little bit of chart setup with all revolving around volume spread analysis. A technique that was made famous by Tom William, my Sifu. Now, of course, this morning in here, before we get on to the headline, how is the market this morning? This morning, the market seems to be holding up just above up here in here, 1594, just shy of 1600. Why can't the market go higher? Isn't it? That's always been this questions we continue to ask many of us. Why can't the market go higher? Now let's look at the chart in here, and let me just bring you a bigger chart. So far, we have the market hitting that resistance 1620, but ding-donging between 1620 and 1600 level. I think last night we did close a bit lower in here. Having said that, it did stay above just shy of 1600. Will it break lower? Right now, it seems that there's a lot of pressure in here. The blue trend zone, which still consists of being up, but what we have seen right now is just merely more of a sideways movement. We need something more, to be frank with you. If this market need to go higher, definitely the rubber glove or the banking stock need to come in and eat. As such, let's look at what we have for you in our headlines this morning. That's right. Now, this morning in our headlines, we have no other than recovery. The theme has always been recovery, as I said before, as the pandemic coming in, and even as early as last Tuesday, I've talked about the COVID vaccine rollout, which is important. This is one of the big catalysts, if you can see from the chart and what we have seen with the US, when that rolling coming in, what we have saw that is happening in US, almost 3 million, that's right, 3 million vaccine has been, can be shoot up to people's arm within a day. So far, Malaysia, phase 1 is only 500,000. I think we hit about 446,000 in here, yet about another 50,000 more to go before April 1st. We'll start phase 2, where the age 65 and above will be getting that. That is up going to be into August. But all this vaccine rollout eventually, almost, I believe, 23 million of Malaysian will be covered. That will be February 2020, which means you and me around the same age, we will be getting our vaccine somewhere between August to February in here. So what does that tell you? This will also tell you the GE15 won't happen until next year, March, isn't it, right? Because they want to get all the vaccine rollout. So that's pretty much the timeline that we see in our stock market in here and our political situation here. We're not going to go anywhere. So having said that, that's why we are rotating between 16, 20, and 16. What do you think? Do what I've just said then make sense with the vaccine rollout and the timeline of what you see in the KLSE? It doesn't take a lot to figure this out. Let me know and pencil in there, what do you think about the market lagger in here? Despite what a lot of the analysts is saying in here, construction, property, travel, I don't think travel and airlines going to recover that much, because our border is still pretty much good. But definitely in this report, we are talking about market lagger like property and construction and building material are coming back. Of course, we can definitely always see them by just typing sector analysis. Let's do that right now. Sector and space analysis. Hit that one. And you can see this up here. We hit that chart up. All right. And you will see just on top of me up here, you will see property. Oh, look at that. Technology is back and construction. All right, so technology is coming back fast. Keep an eye on that one. And we may have some of those front can. We talk about it on Wednesday too. Front can. Check it out. All right. on the tech sectors in here, use the SMARTRobie individual stocks and look at them, and you may find some of them are turning green. Pentagon, those of you who have not gone in for the tech sectors, this will definitely be it. And also last Wednesday we talked about the market bubble, so you're able to differentiate between market bubble and also market correction in here. And right now may just be the time when now this is indicating technology sector, so at least you are stayed informed with our breakfast show. So much in here. All right, so let's also look at the other sectors that we are talking about in here so far, and it's again on the construction sector in here, which we just talked about in here. You could see construction is number 3, and just on top of me up here. So you can see Gambunda is beginning the huge land bank. Let's take a look at Gambunda, the chart right now. Gambunda, GU, oh, there you go. Hit that one. And stock comment and chart in here. Yes, so as early back in 7th of March, where we have the big movement. Of course, Green Pentagon started way back on 7th of February. The market did move sideways, going through this what we call accumulation. So you can see from just above the chart here, we have the low volume before the big breakout that we see in the 7th of March. And that's one of the reasons why. Will this market continue to go a bit higher? Yet to be seen, but we wanted to take out at least the 380, 390. Using the trading band right now is good. But let's look at the fundamental side of Gambunda. Those of you who are interested, hit stock fundamental up here, and you can see it is not rated at all. Look at that. ROE, the return on equity. The sector average is only 6%, and this Gambunda is only giving a 3% in there. As such, it is not so much of a very good area to look at. All right, so that's yet to be seen. So do take note of this one here. And we will re-look into this later on when the market did hit some up room. But right now, there will be a bit of profit taking, having said that. All right. So let's move on to what we want to look at the headlines. That's right. Now, strong sales again. Just now was construction. And right now, we are at the property. That's right. So a strong sale from Echo World, one of the bigger large cap stocks on property sector. Take a look at Matrix too, which is earlier and better in here. Matrix has a better valuation compared to the Echo World. So the news says about Echo World achieving almost 2.9 billion over the last 10 years, again on the backdrop of the market recovery in here. As we can see, more sectors are opening in here. So a lot of people are buying home. Now I have to ask that question: are you buying a new home right now? Those of you are, and if you are, just type it in there. What sort of home are you buying? And do share that with me. I'm interested to hear in here. All right, and not to be outdone, the gross profit for first quarter is still 69 million, despite having a big in here. They say there is a good uptake on the Echo Business Park, more of a longer term trend in here, and they're remaining to be optimistic. All right, again, there is a lot of choices in there. Look for valuation, and if you look at Echo World, I think we've seen the charts. Let's look at Echo World. Let's look at the chart here. Okay, Echo World. There you go, right in the middle here. Hit that one and look at the stock chart. It's going to be in front of here, and it does look like the trends are not too bad. Still around 60 cents, very cheap, isn't it? 60 cents. It moved from 48 cents to 60 cents. Would that be a bit more upside? Again, depending whether you're optimistic going forward with the property sectors or not. Interest rate will continue to be down, but will there be growth like what we've seen before in here? All right, let's move on to our next headline. Our next headline is going to be on Astro, another one of those recovery stocks where more people are buying, buying new homes. They got to put in the Astro in here. So Astro Malaysia net profit rise, but not so much from the subscription base, but more on the pay TV, those that you see where people buy, the cooking utensils. Those seem to be doing well, and also the report talks about the decline in subscription and advertising revenues. Actually, Astro, you're paying money, right? And yet, how can you be advertising here? So what they're saying that the home shopping segment is up 10% to 110 million. And of course, during the COVID-19, more people are at home and they're staying in here, so nothing much to do. So they're buying more things, isn't it? And that seems to be usually the trend that we see in here. But my personal opinion is that there are a lot of what we call substitute out there, Android TV boxes, and seems to be Astro doing well only among those segment, among the Chinese speaking one who used to watch the Hong Kong in here. But then again, Android box has taken up also many of this in here. Yet to be seen whether this remains. But I do think let's look at Astro right now, and I do think they let's look at the chart here. Okay, and looking at the chart, let's look at the chart here, up just above here, and it seems to be a sideways for now. As you can see, just staying above 90 cents in here, couldn't go higher. What I'm trying to say, it got support, it wouldn't go lower, but it can't go higher because there's so much you can do with the growth only in here. All right, take note of that one. All right, let's move on to the next news that we have is definitely from the US market. Now, last night, the Dow Jones rose 200 points as people are buying into the dips. But do take note, the Dow Jones has turned red pentagon. So this means this market's likely to go sideways in here. Bullishness yet to be seen until we get back a green pentagon on the Dow Jones. So check out when you have the plug-in to our subscription in there. All right. So and good things is staying above 32,000, and the 10-year yield interest rate seems to be tapering off. So that seems to be good. So let's make sure it hang on, and we will see how soon will there be a tech recovery, right? And definitely we will see, pull up your charts like your Apple, your Facebook, your Netflix, and see whether do you have a green pentagon for that one. And that's one way to sort of time the market with better. We know that this recovery will come, and this is something I've talked about on Wednesday. Difference between recovery and market crashes or market bubble in here. All right, let's go on to the agenda. We continue to flash out in here. The 35,000 portfolio that we set up hypothetically for 2020 does using the Pentagon guided trading portfolio does give 106%, and so far in 2022 for January to March we are still up 9%, and we'll continue to update this as we have 4 stocks running right now in concurrent with this, following the fixed rule that we share also in our value growth investing course, and something also we will talk about it more in length and the follow-up that we have for our master class. That's why we're going to show you how you could achieve possibility. This is real money for a 9% return, which is much better off than the KLSE market, which is doing only minus 0.3 in here. Now, if you are not making money for the last 3 months, all right, take a look and try to understand where you're coming from, because when we do this month to month, and if you have been following us, we are able to see why some challenges that you face and how you can overcome that to have some sort of understanding going forward too. All right, so this is important for those of you who want to improve your portfolio and not stuck, because by the time end of the year I'll be asking you this question: have you made money for year 2021, just like we said that year 2020? It is important, which is again part of the agenda that we have for 2021, whether you want to be a train trader and train investor. That's part. It's good to watch it, but it's much better when you start making money. I think that's always been what we wanted to do in here. All right, let's take a look at the other segment that we have for you. Definitely is the advanced trade idea that we have, BL's Corp, Amanda, and these are all very short movement that we've seen a lot on our for the premium alert. Now, those of you, I suppose you are watching it, you are advanced level. That's why we're talking about advanced level in here. So these kind of stocks generally tend to have very fast movement in here. And those of you who are a bit slower, use the Pentagon Guider and the trending shares in here. All right. So let's look at the lesson learned that we did from last week on the 19th of March. We now have 2 trade idea at that time, definitely Haptech and Ria. All right, let's look at Haptech here. First one, Eturia, which is a tech stocks. Okay, and it hit on the, what date is that? That was the 19th of March, and you can see 19th of March, towards the end of the day, it actually formed an upthrust. And upthrust, like it or not, is a sign of weakness. It's one of the major signs of weakness, and it is no doubt that this market fell after that. At the time when we were doing it at the 10 o'clock, because we are doing this real time, this is where we are. At 9 o'clock, the market actually break higher, but subsequently in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, the market started to sell off. And that's always the case that we have with all this very climatic volume. You can see this is a climatic volume in here, and subsequently there is no volume after that. Usually when you get a climatic volume, there's no subsequent step up volume in here. A lot of the stocks generally will pull back, and that's one of the first observation you need to do when you look at price. So right now you can see in here, this market is moving on the very constant volume in here, so it will go back to accumulation in here. So first, let's look at Hyptech. Okay, let's look at Hyptech. Of course, we're going to switch to a daily chart in here, and on the 19th, you could see another upthrust. That's right, another upthrust in here. So upthrust is something, especially in a very dullish market that we see. Dullish means it's not really trending. A lot of this trade generally will subsequently fall. So upthrust is one of the very, very powerful sign of weakness that many of you advanced level in here need to pay notice at, right? When you see upthrust, maybe learn to take a bit of profit. Of course, you need confirmation there, and that's something we always talk about in our master class in here, right? We want to get you and coach you and train you so you're able to make that kind of good judgment call when going forward, especially if those of you who want to do more as a discretion trader in here. For our mechanical traders, stick to our portfolio trading strategy, because we have the fixed rules, which is much easier for that one. All right, so those are the two trade ideas from the past 19th of March, and something we learned before, sign of weakness in here. All right, let's look on to our next the advanced trade idea. And this week, for episode 50, 26th of March, we have a bonus, Tasco. That's right. Now on top of that, we have Samaiden, which is the renewable energy player. We have ARB, which is a technology one, and we have Tasco in here. All right, so let's look at all those three so far. And the first one is ARBB, which is a technology player, and this is a nice one here. You can see right here a line change. That's right, line change. Haven't turned green pentagon yet, but we can switch from an hourly chart. That is a pretty good one in here. You can see long accumulation, and then the volume came in. So good one here. And we have the next one is Samaiden, which is Samaiden. Okay, I think that's the right way to pronounce it. Samaiden, and you can see this market on the hourly chart has broken up, but on the daily chart it has swing back up because we see renewable energy. Because right now we are talking about the 3 trillion. Remember 3 trillion infrastructure, which I also talked about on Wednesday by Joe Biden. So that seems to be in play, and that's why this market is swinging back right now. Very nicely done, and let's hope we get some sort of a movement going forward here. Okay, and let's go on to our next bonus. That's right, Tasco. Okay, Tasco, Berhad is a forward trader, and it turned green pentagon. Very nicely done. You can see a low accumulation. We have one line change, pull back, and then turn green pentagon. So we're going to come back and see how would this bonus trade idea for, and definitely if you look at the hourly chart, that's a nice one here. It started to turn about 9 o'clock in here. All right, that will be our bonus trading idea for our premium alert. All right, so hope you like that, and let's move on to our next segment in here. Will definitely be what I've just talked about in the trade setup. All right, if you look at the trade setup, many times the low volume in here and that line change, which actually indicated by our green pentagon. For our algorithm in here, we're able to pick it up just like you pick up Tasco. So as you continue to watch and follow us on our breakfast show, that's a lot of reinforcement what you see in life, like ARB, like Tasco, like Samaiden, and then you look at this mental trade setup which will formulate your mental toughness to recognize these. Again, these are the core and fundamental volume spread and what Tom Williams teach, and something that we go really in depth in our master class. That's right. So take note of this one in here. And those of you who want to know a little bit of briefing and what I just talked about, uptrust, sign of weakness, use this trade VSA tutorial in here and watch the remaining what I've just mentioned in here. And of course, we will go in more in depth next Saturday, 3rd of April for technical analysis with TradingView for beginner. All right, take note of it. And also the registration for our masterclass is ongoing, and 9, 10, or 11, there are some of you who have registered. Congratulations to you, and you'll be participating in one year or 12 months venture with us to train you to be a train trader and a trainer, and also have all the rules and support that you have. Just imagine, getting the support from our coaches, from us privately, as well as through all our public channel. Right? If you have benefited today from the breakfast show in here, just imagine how much you can benefit from our private coaching that we have session for you. Think about that. All right, so let's move on to the next bonus. We continue to give out 400 credits if you share your referral code with your friends, and able to do that. I think that's also wonderful too. All right, so and do share, and we will come right now to the stock review in here. So of course, some of the names that you see above here will get the first preference, and some of our members too, our masterclass member, will also get preference in here. All right, right now I'm looking in here. Yes, we do have Charlie has a stock in here. Ravinda Rubberex. Okay, we have Charlie Chia. All right, but you are fortunately these. Okay, let's look at the Hongao. We got Michael Low here. Yes, we have Abul. Abul is one of our masterclass member, and Honga is one of our earlier reviewer. So I will review this. Now, those of you who want me to review your stock, go over to the Google Play Store or the Facebook review and give us a feedback, what you think of our apps, and you will get the first priority to look at. So right now, I'll be looking at the VDAT or Tasco. I think I already done that. Okay, Abu, very nice one. Right, because he is one of our masterclass member. That's why he was able to pick this thing up. All right, and VDAT on hourly chart looks pretty good, but VDAT has gone up a fair bit. It is still in the what we call orange trend zone in here. Do be careful in here, because usually when you see some stocks like this who have a climatic, I don't think it's going to go up. Most is 1 or 2 bars from my experience, because these are smart money, and once smart money comes in, they will wreak havoc to your stocks, because their intention is always short term. Unlike Tasco, you can see you have long period accumulation. This thing goes straight up, distribute, and I think probably 62 cents here somewhere, it will distribute. So Abu, take note of it. Okay, and Tasco, so we have Honga, DRB, Highcom. Okay, DRB Highcom looks pretty alright, decent. You have a bit of accumulation in here, and also you notice this green line. This is one of our new indicators we are testing, and eventually we will release it. And this is our VF indicator that tells you this is currently pointing out. Of course, it is still in the blue trend zone, and it looks pretty good too. All right, so those are our first priority for our members in here. And let's look at the other list that I have here. Okay, and so we got now we done VDAT. All right, cool. RD. Okay, so we'll do one more for the one of our public in here. All right, and if you have not done the review in our Google Play Store, please go and give us a feedback. So I'll just do one more for Rubber Rex. Okay, Rubber Rex is green pentagon in here, but there is no follow through. I noticed too. And ever since we have the also Top Glove, right, giving out that nice dividend. And this morning it's still holding up in here. This was the dividend in here. So I suppose it has still have to go through accumulation to remove a lot of the sellers. Remove a lot of the sellers in here. Okay, Yuki is also one of our Facebook reviewer in here. Itronics. Okay, Itronics industry. Okay, not so good. Now, Yuki, again, going back to train trader and train investor, always pay attention to the trend zone. Okay, so you want to buy when the green pentagon and you want to sell, take some profit on the red trend. So right now this thing is going down. So of course you will definitely benefit from more education and more guidance from us. Maybe something that you want to consider joining our masterclass this coming April 2. All right, let me just go through the list that I have inside here, and also those some of Lim Mei Feng on Matang, okay, and LK Tan. We have Sam here. All right, so of course I will always give preference to Lim Mei Feng because she's also one of our top fans and one of our masterclass member in here. Let's look at Matang. Nice one, very beautiful daily chart. This seems to be going up. This is again the second bar of the day. I think you got 1 or 2 more bars go up before profit taking. Continue to run it. Be very careful. Again, switch to an hourly chart, right? And continue to notice. Look out for upthrust. Remember we talk about those upthrust sign of weakness. Switch to an hourly chart. So for those of you, you can see, especially the active trader, you have an edge using a real-time chart compared using a SMARTRobie chart. Think about that. All right, think about the additional edge that you have. After all, if you're going to be trading this, why use you use a tool that is more reactive and able to put you an edge out front in there? Something that you want to be thinking about. All right, so that's all for the stocks that we have for today. And those of you who want me to review first priority in here, go over to Google Play Store, and I'll see you on Monday out there. Or share SMARTRobie with many other friends and get more. And don't forget to join my colleague and senior coach tonight at 9:30, right? Zac Lim, to review some of the stocks that you have and have a great day ahead of you. All right, and let's see what this weekend will bring us when I come back and see you next Monday in here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your time in here. And of course, don't miss any of our episode or our material that we presented. Subscribe to YouTube and be notified first time if any new material that we have and topics that will help you to put money in your pocket. And continue to join our Telegram. Do share our Telegram channel with your friends and colleagues so they will benefit from the free stock market information that we have and to be updated for all development that we see in the market, both locally and abroad. Thank you. Bye-bye.